Guthrie.
Yeah.
Brandon Guthrie. Here, we're gonna do the official invitation. Welcome. Well, first off, welcome everybody to the Table Rush Master Class, where we get back to the marketing and sales basics to help you grow your business to $1 million and beyond. Who doesn't want to do that?
That sounds good to me.
Right? And Brandon, what a gift to have you on here, man. Brandon Guthrie, who owns Dream Design Labs, and we met at Funnel Hacking Live 2021, and we were just talking. Yeah, we were talking about how epic it was, and I just thought we just got to start recording because people need to know how epic Funnel Hacking Live is.
Oh yeah, man. It was off the chain. It was awesome. That was my first Funnel Hacking Live. Man, it was action-packed, value-packed, networking packed. Just, dude, it's a must-have. It's like you gotta go. It's really easy to get, it's hard to get out of the dungeon sometimes, So it's good. It's good to get out and just like connect with human beings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my God.
It was awesome.
So awesome. There was 2,500 of us plus or minus live. They're live and another 2,500 zoomed in. 4 days. That was my first one too. And I honestly, I felt like these are my people. This is my tribe. I was like, oh yeah, this is where I am supposed to be.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, 100%. The same thing. It was like, oh my gosh, there's other people like me out there in the world.
Yeah. I remember too, man, when I get there, I think it started on Wednesday. So maybe I got there Tuesday night, I think.
Yeah.
So I check into the hotel, right? I get out of the Uber or the Lyft. I walk in to the front desk. There's a few people milling around. I give them my credit card. They, here's your key. I turn around and there's freaking, what's his name? Myron Golden is just sitting there, just all casual, right? And I'm like, Myron freaking Golden, like what's going on? And he's like, oh, hey, what's happening? And I just right at that moment, I was like, this is legit, man. Like the people that we get to see are milling with us, right? They're milling around with us. And that was a powerful moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was crazy how you got to mingle with all of the speakers. They were all hanging out with everyone. They just walked down the stairs and sat next to you, basically. Like it's crazy. I can't remember his name. Should remember, but the guy that was going over ecom with his like step, or was it his?
Oh yeah.
Stepdad or something,
with his uncle, or there was uncle in the nephew, I guess. Yeah,
the nephew. Yeah. He was down at the bar, hanging out, just chilling, talking to everyone, and I picked his brain, and I got to speak to a bunch of the speakers, and I think that makes it really special. I remember multiple people saying this is the only conference I've ever been to where the speakers are just hanging out
and open and ready to talk, right? Like they'll I found out really quick though, they'll challenge you. They're like, okay, great, you want to talk, well, let's get down to business. And if you try and talk over your head, man, they'll just oh yeah, like you got to be real to where you are. It was pretty cool. I found that about the whole thing, and I say that in a good way. I was not being unreal. I just noticed that
they're watch yourself.
Yeah, right. Like they're willing to talk, but they know.
Yeah, they know. You can tell too. Like just be humble. Be humble.
Yes. Be humble. That's right. Keep that humility. Thank goodness I had it. You mentioned networking too, and my feeling of it was like not even having to try to network. It was just in the air, man, everywhere. Just like, it wasn't like an agenda. It was just you're meeting people and like-minded, right?
Yeah. 100%. It was effortless. You did not feel weird at all. going up to someone and say, hey, what's up? I'm this. What do you do? And they're just like, oh, I
Yeah.
do this. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
It's like, it was so effortless because I think everyone was, I think the funnel hacking tribe I think Russell has spread a good vibe and has attracted good vibe people. And so it's a really open, good vibe situation.
Yeah. And we're
Yeah.
all moving from the heart, if you want to say that. Some people might not like that term, but I really believe it to be the case, man. Generally speaking, authentic people are just moving from who they are, that space, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, another thing that I noticed, like I'm a personality, right? But I can still end up in a room that's full of people and I can feel alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there and just went in, and, like I said, there's, Myron Golden or whatever, but I didn't have that aloneness of I was like, oh yeah, does that resonate at all or make sense a little bit?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It did not feel like that for 1 second. So
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one funny moment. Uh, well, I was hanging out and it was with Caleb Christensen and hanging out, just talking to someone, and all of a sudden, just Dan Henry just walks up right next to me and just standing right next to me. Just, what's up? And I was just like, so Dan Henry, if he watches this one day, laugh.
Okay.
But so I look over at him like, I was like, funnel hacker? He's like, just kidding. Like, are you? I was like, are you? I was like, are you a funnel hacker? And he's like, wait, are you serious? And then I was like, I'm just kidding. What's up? My name's Brandon. It got him for a second though. He's like, he was like, funny. He's like, I don't identify. So because he's too cool. But hey, that's
Yeah.
fine. Hey, if you've achieved that level, right? By all
Good.
means. But that was a funny moment.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I hope to rub shoulders again more. That's just one moment of many that where it's just like, is this really happening? Because Dan Henry's been around the block, he's crushed it, and obviously he's got a lot of eyeballs on him,
Yeah.
and there were just so many people like that. Oh, Russell Brunson. There's a guy that dresses Russell Brunson.
Okay.
And we met him, just talked to him like nothing. He's like, oh yeah, he was wild, dude. He was an awesome guy. And he's like, yeah, Russell wears this at this time for this and this emotional. They want to give off this emotion at this time. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
do you notice at the beginning he's wearing more relatable clothes, and then at the end he's wearing a button shirt at the end because he's about to pitch you. Yeah, it
Dude,
was awesome.
so good. So much to learn. I was really watching all the speakers and definitely Russell from trying to watch from the .com secret standpoint, or more from the objective viewpoint of here's the where I learned it and earned it. Here's the, you know what I mean? Like hook, story, offer. Just watching it from the technical standpoint, which was really, it was really fun to have some. I mean, most of the time I was swept up in it, right? But to have those moments where you could step back and be like, oh yeah, here's the process working, you know?
Yeah.
Super powerful. I had this moment, one thing that was really cool for me, I've been putting all this effort into, this podcast and just publishing every day for almost a year and slowly but surely growing an audience, slowly but surely, just being
Yeah.
consistent. And I'm in the 2CCX coaching group, which is like Russell's high-end coaching. If you know that, or did you
Yeah.
dive in, or you're not, or
I didn't pull that trigger.
yeah.
But I think I'd like to maybe next go around. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
see you in there.
Yeah. No urgency, or I'm just curious. No pressure. I'm just
No,
interested.
yeah,
I mean,
I, I, I think, yeah, I think next year, even for the networking of the
yeah.
coaching program, like there's a lot to learn, and I'm sure that's gonna be really great. But on top of that, is networking would be huge. So yeah,
It's like the Facebook group of Facebook groups. Let's be real, man. It's like a consolidated. it's pretty powerful who's in there, and who's there to help and who you can help, right? And it's open. You can't be I mean, you gotta, it's a great way to network, and definitely people are looking for people such as yourself to help them, right? When they get to that point, like not everybody's at the need for strategic Facebook ads or funnel design quite yet. So, but there are those people that are right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And could use a good person such as yourself, right? At that moment, they're like, thank God Brandon's there, So
Yes, yes,
I
definitely.
yeah, I had this moment where anyway, so yeah, I've got this podcast, right, and I'm doing all this work, and I'm in the 2CCX, and it turns out I've got some more notoriety within the tribe than I knew, which was a
Mm.
super fun moment, right? So I'm walking along in this in the crowd, in the audience, right? And this guy stares me down, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, you've got that podcast. And I'm like, yes, I do. Right. And
Yes.
yeah, right. I'm like, yes. And so I'm talking young kid is probably 21, right? And a really nice kid. But there's an even younger kid with him, right? And so we're all talking, and I look at the younger one, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? And I look at his name tag, right? And and its last name is Brunson, right? And I'm like offhanded as a wise ass. I'm like, what are you, Russell Brunson's kid? And he's like, as a matter of fact, I am. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous.
So crazy.
So
Just
crazy.
like rubbing
Yeah.
shoulders with all kinds of amazing people. So
Yes.
you're gonna have to be my plug for this year. You plug, oh Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. More than, yeah, for sure. And what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say from there. But yeah, super good, super fun. What would you say were your top, who, like Dan Brown, for people who are watching us right now, like let them know who Dan Brown is, for
Oh,
example, because
Dan
yeah,
Dan Henry.
or Dan Henry, excuse me.
Apparently he's
Yeah.
not, I guess he's so Dan Henry is a coach. I wonder if I have his book around here. Uh,
I
but
was thinking
he's
of
a
Les Brown. That's why I
he
was like, I got Myron Golden, Les Brown, Dan. They all started merging into one.
yeah. Dan Henry, he's a coach. He's a coach. He has programs, and he pretty much I haven't really dove deep into his programs too much, but I'm pretty sure it's about how to sell high ticket through
Yeah.
like online digital advertising. That's probably it's got to be the most competitive space of all, because it's
Of
like
all.
how to make money online basically through funnels like that. Steve Larson, Russell Brunson, like Dan Henry. There's
Dan
only
Henry. Yeah.
other than that, it's like everyone else trying. And that's why I'm not going to even try to swing that bat yet. I'm going more niche.
Yeah.
Seth Godin always talks about the minimum viable audience first. So I'm going
Yeah.
niche, really niche, taking the person that I helped get this worked with to get this 2 Comma Club award. And I'm just going to teach that process, niche down and do that. But yeah, Dan Henry, if you guys ever want to, if anyone listening ever wants to learn about how to basically make money online as a coach using webinars, challenges, anything like that, Dan Henry's got some awesome
He's the
stuff.
man.
So definitely check him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And I just was trying to give context. He's like the Tony Robbins of mindset. He's the right Dan Henry to funnels, right? Dan
Yeah, I would
Henry.
say so. He's up there now.
Yeah. Yeah. You got Russell, Dan, right? In the Tony Robbins space, you got, I don't know, Oprah, Tony Robbins, something like that, right? It's like
Right.
that's the thing. Yeah, so I met you. I got to see you get that 2 Comma Club award that's over your shoulder there. Yeah.
Did you
And
see did you see that?
yeah,
You
of
did?
course I was there.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Mm,
Yeah.
awesome. So cool.
Yeah.
It's like your podcast moment. That's my That's my moment.
Yeah, right. And then of course you guys, yeah, didn't I? Yeah, did I? Oh, I think I met you after that, right? It's somewhere in there. That doesn't really matter, I guess. But I thought I maybe had met you
I
right
think I met you before.
after.
I don't know if it was before or after, but I do remember meeting you. It was the same thing. Hey, what's up, Brandon? What do you do?
Yeah,
Da-da-da. Like
right. And
super,
then
super
bam.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
instant.
easy. And then it was like, oh wait, what? Yeah, yeah, super fun. Oh yeah, you did win the 2CCX award. I'm like looking at the little badge and I was like, oh my God, yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. That must have been it. Yep.
yeah, right. And I know maybe you were looking for a seat. We won't bore anybody with the details. I think,
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I was looking for a seat. Someone had like a water bottle down or something, and then I was like, do you mind if we like just sit here until they
yeah,
come
yeah.
back? I don't think they ever came back. So,
That's
or whatever
whatever, however it
happened.
shook out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we're actually everybody listening, watching, if you've made it this far, or maybe we've cut that part out. I don't know yet. I'm not big on editing, but Brandon has a company, Dream Design Labs, and he has won a 2 Comma Club award through a funnel that you have created for a client, right? To help drive business for them. And
Right.
as we were talking before we started this, you're about to get the 10x or the 2 by 10, whatever the
It's yeah,
X.
two CCX is
Yeah, the
10.
two
Yeah.
CCX. And what that means, everybody is listening, is that Brandon has created uh, uh, a funnel online that has driven at this point $1 million in revenue, which is huge.
10
Easier.
million now.
What's that?
10 million is the X.
Yeah, 10 million ZX. So you're right on the cusp of applying for the $10 million revenue through a funnel, which is, I mean, that's like we've got some stature on here right now, right? Like that's there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in getting to that point, right? I
Oh
think,
yeah.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
a lot of pain, a lot of pain. I call it getting drugged through broken glass and hot coals for years and years and years. Like
If
one
you'd
of the
have only
worst,
known.
dude.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't even look at what the consequences might be. I just jumped in. I've kind of I grew up racing motocross and dirt bikes and stuff like that. So I always coin it like I just hucked it. I sent it. I just sent it without even looking. And I just dove all in. As Tony Robbins says,
Yeah,
burn the
man.
boats. And I was like, whatever pain comes, I'll accept.
Yeah. So I think we want to talk about I definitely want to talk about your journey. And at the same time, I want to pluck out some like key learning points for people. And I'm very focused on, the marketing and sales basics. And in this case, it's marketing and sales basics as related to like funnels and the avatar or your perfect client or niching down, right? Like we're taught all this stuff by Russell Brunson. And it's so easy for us to be like, yeah, that might matter to them, but not to me. Right.
Mhm.
And so, for example, but well, I'll say, so for example, you'd asked me a couple of questions when I was talking about what I was up to. You
Mhm.
immediately started saying, let's see if I can find it. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at our conversation on Facebook
Yeah,
over
go for
here.
it. Go for it. No
Yeah.
worries.
Uh,
Yeah, I think it was something like where along the journey are your listeners? Are they just getting started? Have they just started to see success, or are they hitting a milestone like a 2 Comma Club award, trying to get to the next
yeah.
level? Depends. So your listener could be at a different level wherever they are at in that journey of theirs, where I should tell my story from. My story should adjust to the audience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, exactly. And well, yes, indeed. And I also think the value of what I liked about that was it's like when you talk marketing and what you do and creating a funnel that's going to drive $10 million in revenue. And I want to say that again, you're effectively have created a funnel And you created the funnel, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
everything.
yep, everything. And then you're driving the traffic to that funnel, and it's creating $10 million in revenue. I mean, that's powerful, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
part of that is, that where is the customer in their journey, so I can niche down and target the ads to that, right? So that's what I loved about that question. And that's what people need to know who are listening, like, where is your customer in their journey, so that way we can niche down, target appropriately, have a
mhm,
better return on investment. Yes.
yeah, 100%. Um, so and so just to dive into that, yeah, you want to target where, sorry, I keep getting distracted. I gotta clear this, make this make this clear, or make this I know it's in my head. I just gotta say it. So
Yes.
we just passed the $10 million mark. We did 600,000 last month, and we just cleared it by 100,000. So we like barely made it over the finish line. I don't know why I just had to say that, because I remember we were like on the cusp, but yeah, we just passed it, and yeah, now we're moving on. So that's it. I got that out. Now we can
Fantastic.
move
It's
on.
we are clear on everything. We know that, and
Yes.
congratulations. Now, that's beautiful and amazing. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes. And then back to the original point. Yeah. So yeah, you want to target, depending on where your customer is at in their journeys, is the way that the way you're gonna speak to them. And a really important part about that is you actually want to try to, on purpose, intentionally make your ideal client the people that are at the point in the journey where they can afford what you offer.
Mm.
So one person, I've heard this before, where it's so true that all of us want to go back and help us when we had no money, because
Yes.
right, because I went through Dean Graciosi's mastery program, and they teach, which I got a hot seat with Dean Graciosi, which was like super cool. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, she gave me one-on-one advice. It was so cool. But what they teach is like, what were you like years ago? Who were you? Like, teach that person. That's the person that you can help the most. Would
Right.
you? It's like your moral obligation to go to your younger self and tell them you need this, and that's why should be so passionate about your offering. And I really like that concept, but be aware of going too far back when
Mm.
you had no money and you couldn't afford anything. I
When
would
me,
not.
when Tuesday night tacos
Yeah.
at Taco Bell, that was a big night out.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
go that far back.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that there's a way that you can do it where you can actually help everyone. And that's what I do. So I have a free group. The free groups are a thing, right? You have Facebook group, which it's a great way to help that person for free. That's what I
Mm.
say is, hey, like, and then I think it was Russell that talks about teach the what for free and the how as your paid programs. So teach what you do and your step-by-step process that has worked for you for free all day long. And that's what I say. Hey, listen, like you have no money, you're just starting your agency, you have no clients, no problem. Join my Facebook group, go through my guides. I will personally see to it that I am going to help you get to the next level. And I truly care about everyone in my group. And I really show up for them. I shoot personalized videos, giving them advice. I shoot
Yeah.
Loom videos, looking at their sales letters,
Yeah.
giving them copy advice on their page. Like,
Yeah.
I do that all for free because I really do want to help myself when I was first getting started.
Yeah.
But if you're running if you're running ads and you're paying money, you're going to probably want to turn your target to yourself in your journey when you first started having success, and you made a commitment and you went all in. At that moment when you went all in, and when I burned the boats and I actually started seeing some success, which is part of my story, is I flipped the switch, I burned the boats, and I changed how I approach my business. And I started having some success right there. And right then at that moment is the best time for your ad to pop up.
Love that. Thank you for that, Brandon. That is a nugget right there. That's a great one. Um,
Yeah, definitely it
so,
is. It's a
and
good
what,
one.
and we'll tackle that in a second. Tell me, I loved how you said it again. You want to design your avatar to get to the money spot, or how did you say that? It was good how you said that.
So I have someone really awesome on my team who talks about this. His name is Javier, and so I'm going to give him props. He calls it finding clients with money. That's all he calls it. Clients with money. And so it's finding them at their journey when they've fully committed and they've started seeing success, or they have they're at the point in the journey where they have money, some disposable income, and they're seeing some progress, and they know if they just keep going in this direction, it's going to work out for them. And that's right when you want to show them your ad, or once they've already purchased an alternative solution and failed. So now they have money because they're currently already now invested. Sunk cost fallacy, which is, the sunk cost fallacy is a human fallacy, which is a human, fallacy. You know what a fallacy is when you think something's true, but it's really not, but that's just how we are. That's a fallacy. And so once they've spent money on a similar program or a similar option, an alternative, and they failed, then they're really, now they've sunk cost fallacy. Now they just need the right ad at the right time, and that's the best time to get them.
The sunk cost fallacy, and that's like they're committed. That means they're committed because they like, I know like a sunk cost is people forget that money doesn't matter, it's gone, right? But they keep on layering it on top of each other, and it has a higher like.
It's sunk cost is like, I already spent this money. Now I have to keep going.
Yeah.
But really, I think wisdom teaches don't be emotionally attached to directions, right? But sunk cost fallacy, there's truth to both sides.
Truth to both sides.
But advertising wise, we use that to our advantage.
I love it, right? To be of service.
To help. Exactly. Positive transformation, which is what I'm all about. And so that's my mission, man. Positive transformation.
I love it. So thank you for saying that again. So we'll skip everything then, and we're going to go right to the burn the boats moment. So I've got Brandon Guthrie's story right here, which he so graciously gave to me. 2005, started learning about digital marketing, started clothing company.
If you want me to burn through it real quick, I can, because it might not make sense. Those were more bullet points for almost myself, and I was kind of showing it to you too, so you can follow along. So here, I'll quickly burn through it. So 2005, learned digital marketing, design, started making my own clothing line, silk screen printed shirts, sold them on the side, made cash that way. 2006, learned HTML, CSS. I could build a website on Notepad. Built my own website. Someone saw it. They were like, "Hey, could you do that for me?" I was like, "Sure." They're like, "Could I pay you $300?" I was like, "Yeah, that's a lot of money." And so they gave me $300. And then after that, started getting marketing and design jobs. 2007, started my company now, Dream Design Labs. I was 17 years old. I went to City Hall. I went back for something else. And then they were like, "Wait a second, how'd you get a business license? You're only 17. They took it away from me, and they said I had to be 18 years old. So I went back when I was 18, got my business license back. 2014, quit my day job, burned the boats, went all in. And at that time, I read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. If you're just getting started out, do not read that book. That was the worst book I could have ever read. Basically, it taught a lot about like putting barriers between you and your clients and giving yourself time, which works if you have like a 9-figure business like he did when he basically utilized that strategy. I tried doing it when I had like 3 clients, didn't work. 2016, crash and burn, lost it all, hit rock bottom. And I ended up having to, one of the most embarrassing things of my life is I had to, I think it's really embarrassing. I know there's worse things in the world, but for me at the time, it was horrible. I had to move back in with my parents. It was like the worst thing for me. At the rock bottom, instead of going, how can I make the most money with the least effort? I flipped the script, made it all about caring about my clients, caring about the people I'm serving, and actually who was buying from that ad, and truly showing, like, having heart in everything and putting 1,000% effort, not trying to be like, oh, I want to make the most money with the least effort. It was like I just flipped the script and did the complete opposite. After that, things started to actually work. So right then, so at rock bottom, I went crazy. I remember I went crazy in on learning. I was working 7 days a week, like 16-hour days.
And
My
what year is
girlfriend,
this? Tell me again. Oh, sorry.
this was about between 2016 and 2017.
Okay.
Between those two, I was working like 16-hour days, 7 days a week, learning and studying. And I got up every morning at 4 a.m, listened to all whatever podcasts I could in the morning, went for a run, worked all day. And I remember I worked so much that my girlfriend's dad even said, "What's wrong with Brandon? He looks like he's getting super skinny. Like, is he okay?" He was literally concerned for me because I had been shriveling up because I literally was doing nothing except for learning and working and learning and working and learning and working. And that was some crazy hard times. And I turned, the saying is, the mice turn the milk to butter. I turned that milk into butter. I churned it into butter. Ended up 2017, moving back out of my parents by giving 1,000% effort and putting my heart into it. 2020 hit. Everyone was running away from the fire. I ran towards it and doubled down.
Tell me what you mean when you say that. Tell me that. I saw that in there and I was like, that's a freaking nugget. Tell me.
I would say there's actually one story that comes to mind. I remember one client was like, I had to talk probably all my clients off the ledge. And I remember one particular situation, they're like, we're gonna shut down the ads. We have to close down shop. We're gonna like shut everything down. And I was like, wait. I was like, just wait a second. I was like, this could be an opportunity. It's like, have you even checked to see if your business is on the list of what's it called when they're needed? The mandatory.
What was that? What was that dang term?
It's
essential.
Essential business. Did you even check to see if you're on the list yet? Before he had already begun the process of shutting his whole life down, his whole business, his everything he's worked for his entire life. Ready? He already begun. And I was just like, wait, have you checked? And he's like, no, I'm driving. I'm like, okay, I'll check while I'm driving right now. And I check and I'm like, yes, you're on the list. He's like, really? He's like, yes, you're on the essential list. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And then we kept going and everything like tripled.
What was this business? Is this your, if you don't mind me saying, that your turf guy?
Yeah. Turf, artificial grass installation.
Artificial grass. Yeah. You are making millions online selling artificial grass.
Yeah, exactly. Facebook ads, funnels, and the automation. And yeah, we doubled down and it ended up going the opposite direction. And now I'm just like in that home improvement space, just trying to scale in that space now. So yeah.
Yeah. And tell me what you mean when you say scale in that space. What does that mean to you?
So definitely moving into coaching, done with you programs. It's one-to-many instead of one-to-one. That's what I mean with scaling in that space. And yeah, and then so after that, 2020, and then in 2021, I lost my aunt. And she was very close. I was very close to my aunt, and I put on there. I put on the notes, but a horrible thing happened. So I had already made this shift to making like it about heart and about caring about my clients and the person even on the other side of the ad. And I was already about that and impact, and I was going more and more and more into that every month that was going by. And then I lost my aunt, and it was like 3 weeks before my wedding. I got married in July this year. Thank you. But 3 weeks before my wedding, my aunt took her own life.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I firmly believe that she would be here today if she would have seen the right ad at the right time, been in the right program with someone talking about how she, she is worth it, and health programs and financial programs. And I know there's people, if she would have been surrounded by the right people, she would still be here today. So it went from like already about impact to being now, it's like there's lives on the line. That's what I say. I have this Voxer group we call ourselves the Adventures Dream Team. Uh, and I always say we're on a rescue mission. There's people out there that need us. And so that's why I say positive transformation is for sure my mission. So, yeah.
Thank you for that, Brandon.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that was a crazy time because I got married right after that. So it was like this weird emotional mix. It was like trying to shift gears, like shifting gears through a clutch that's like sad to happy, and just it was
emotions
crazy,
like
it was horrible. But then got the 2 Comma Club award, and that in 2021, 2 Comma Club award, and now 2022, 2 Comma X. And I definitely more than ever want to make positive change in the world. I say it's not one moment that makes someone want to make that decision. It's multiple moments, stacking after stacking after stacking after stacking. And if we can be just one positive stack that helps them go in the opposite direction, then it's made everything that we do worth it. And so, yeah.
I'm just letting that sit there for a minute, right? And just percolate. And I just want to hold space for those 2 thoughts. If you've heard that term, like hold space, like because I think one, I'm like, oh yeah, I know why we met, because I'm like, oh yeah, like, and that's a testament to Funnel Hacking Live. Like that's what we're talking about. There's people that are like, hey, this is like, we can impact the world in a positive way, and it's fun to have money as a metric, right? Like that, all that is that's like 2 Comma Club award. It just shows that I'm being impactful, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's so powerful. So your aunt commits suicide, and so it sounds like a new sort of vision is percolating a little bit. You're like, okay, how can I be more thoughtful in the way that I utilize these gifts that you have, Facebook ads, funnels, like this knowledge of, in your team. Jose sounds awesome. And I met Steve, right? I can't remember Steve's last name, Azaki or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Steve. So any solid vision for that, or are you like, I'm just going to keep pressing forward and we'll see what develops, or what's going on there?
So we already, even before this happened, I started a hashtag and already started down this path, and it made it even more powerful now. I called it a movement of called it empathy marketing movement. So hashtag empathy marketing movement. If you look that up, pretty sure we're the only ones on there, and going to continue to do that. And it's a movement where, yeah, marketing is about just making marketing more about heart and less about money. Like the
Mm.
Two Comma Club award, I think it's cool, but I was like, oh, maybe I would love to come up with an award that is more how many lives you've impacted.
So good. It's funny when I was sitting here because I just came up with this little thing that I read. We help get back to the marketing and sales basics to help grow your business to 1 million and beyond. And I'm so not about the money. I mean, it's fun to that sort of the accolades, but I was like, I want to change that to a more impactful, to a statement about so we can to help your business positively impact more people, right? And I think that thank you for sharing, because I'm like, yeah, that's the message that really is the powerful message, right? It's not, again, the Two Comma Club award is cool and all, but I love your idea of like, how is there another metric we could come up with of lives we've saved or whatever, or smiles we've created or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to have an award where it's like, I thought about it too. Like, I guess you would have to go off of how many, it's almost like it might only be, it might be funny. You might have fun, might be able to find a more authenticated way than just this, but like how many positive reviews do you have where someone's just like beaming and they're happy? It's a video review. That's the only way I could think of how you would
Yeah.
like quantify, oh, a
Yeah. Yeah.
million impact, a million lives positively impacted, like, and actually like quantify it and verify it.
Yeah.
And I think Russell kind of started going down that route too with the heart, the
Heart.
Two
Love
Comma
that.
Heart Award or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
donated $1 million,
Donated. Yeah.
which is probably very similar. When I saw that, I was like, oh, so he pretty much is already kind of going down that path. But
Yeah.
um, regardless, I would say that also, unfortunately, when we're not breaking down the walls like we are right now,
Yeah.
people's walls are up, and the money might have to be the hook that gets them
It.
in.
Right.
And that's where I've heard this. I can't remember. I think it was Dean Graziosi or someone. He said, "Sell them what they want and give them what they need."
Dude, I love it. That's so good. I kind of had, I was like, because I definitely have a pretty solid, what I would say are spiritual practices, right? And I was like, I need to backdoor that into people's lives, right? Like use when I start sharing my tools and my gifts with people, it's like, all right, here's the, and don't even need to call them spiritual practices, right? You're like just like, hey, here's how you can use these practices to drive your inspiration to more effectively carry your message or whatever, however that manifests, right? So I love that. So yeah, I might stick with the thank you for sharing that with me. We got to give them what they want. What did you say? Sell them what they want, give them what they
Give them
need.
what they need. Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
Thank you. Good. I'm on the right path then. I think this is
Yeah.
good. This is good.
Because you get them in the door, and then they can experience, like for example, I just spoke with someone that they call themselves one thing, and really they're a whole other thing, but that one thing gets people in the door.
Yeah.
They're kind of the same as everyone else, but they coin themselves as this one unique way. And then once you get in, the whole world's revealed. So
What
same
is
thing
it?
with,
If you don't, do you remember what it is, or are you willing to share it? Or
it's kind of fresh. So I don't wanna say anything, say too
okay,
much there because of the
okay,
relationship.
well, fair
But
enough. I appreciate that.
it's just something, it's just a business where they've done something really well, and they take one angle, one offering of the whole process, and make that the one thing that gets people in the door. And
Yeah,
really it's the same as everyone else. And not everyone else, but as probably many others.
yeah.
And in copywriting, I've studied Claude Hopkins, David Ogilvy, Dan Kennedy, Victor Schwab, Michael Masterson, all these amazing copywriters since the 1900 and on
Yeah.
have all taught that your thing can be the same, but if you just take a unique approach and explain it in a different way, then it can attract buyers in a new way that no other competitor has been able to do.
Great. And I've been really thinking about it's like the red ocean, blue ocean concept, right? And so it's like, if you really dig into that, I believe that red ocean, blue ocean concept is exactly what you are saying right there. It's like you're taking your like product, but finding the blue ocean spin on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That that
Yeah.
that that lens to look at it, where it's like, oh, right, and
Yeah.
and I love that. And I have this coach, Vince is his name, Vince Green. He's in the 2CCX. He's so awesome. And my, I've got this, I've got my, I think I DM'd it to you or whatever that language is.
Yeah.
My funky new age communication tool or whatever. But he was talking, he goes, all roads lead through that tool, right? Which is another thing
Mm-hmm.
that you're saying. You find that one thing that you're going to bring everybody in through the door with, right? So my framework's almost done. It's done. I just got to, slowly get it messy enough to present. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like all roads lead. My real goal is to help. It's not my real goal. My goal is to help, people. Where is it? I have it written down, but I'm still memorizing it. But it's to help that entrepreneur uh, get unstuck and find momentum so that they can, grow and impact, or they can grow their business to impact more people with my new funky communication tool, right? So it's like the tool. I should shut up now almost, but
Oh, okay. Okay. Top secret.
well, no, it's not top secret. I hope it's making sense. I sometimes I
Yeah.
get,
No, that makes sense.
oh yeah,
I get
good.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, this, and I just had this blazing inspirational aha moment, right? Like coming out of Funnel Hacking Live, it was like just conversation after conversation, interaction after interaction, where it just like the vision just was like, right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, he's like, just what we're saying, all roads lead through the tool, or the tool is the entry point for really you're just going to help get people unstuck, get them moving forward. I'm very good at helping people like stick to the basics, right? Like what's the next indicated step? And you don't have to like the next indicated step. You don't got to believe it's going to work. You just got to do it, right?
Mm. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Have faith in the process, and yeah, you can yeah, use the blue ocean strategy. I learned recently, I read there's a book, Blue Ocean Strategy, I think is what it's called. Have you read that book?
No, I
It's
haven't.
a
I
good,
need to. Clearly.
yeah, it's a good one. So they teach this really cool strategy where you basically take all of the different qualities that you're offering or services rated upon in the eyes of the purchaser, and you line them up on the bottom of a chart, and then you put like low to high on the left side, and then you plot your competition, and then you're able to see visually where your competition is not, and then you just like basically go to where they're not. And I recently just made a tweak to a couple of my campaigns using that, and uh I don't know if how long it's going to last, but so far so good. It's been holding up, and we've got like 5x ROAS because of that one little tweak that we made using this
Yeah.
tool. And so, yeah, you gotta do that with your offering, and uh, see like I've got to do a whiteboard presentation. It's fascinating. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So you have to do it. I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, what
Uh,
we should do is we'll do a part two, and maybe when we want to do a series and we get the whiteboard and we do it for people so they can see it, right? I think that would be super fun and super
yeah,
valuable. Down for
Yeah,
that? Or
I'm down. Let's do it.
yeah, fantastic. We'll do that. Um, I want to ask you too. Clearly, you've got a passion for this personal growth, for learning, for how I think it's such a powerful lesson. You read this book, Blue Ocean Strategies, and then to actually implement it, like that's a key missing piece for a lot of people to like read, learn, try, right? And then
Oh,
have the
yeah.
success. So that is freaking awesome. Where do you think that, because clearly you've got that capacity in your story where you're like constantly like, trying new things, taking risks, um, going for it and getting shellacked. But you're like, dust yourself off, man.
Yeah.
What'd you say on the on the
Huck
what?
it, send
Yeah,
it.
huck it. Yeah, huck it.
Yeah.
I used to snowboard. I've hucked it so many times, man, and just gotten
No. I got wrecked.
got wrecked, but had some glory moments too, right?
Yep. Yep. The two Comic Club award came eventually. I got wrecked a bunch of times before that. That's for sure.
Yeah. So tell me, where do you think that comes from in your life? Like like that's a really cool thing to have. Like, tell me about that.
I would say 100% probably because of dirt bikes, motocross. Honestly, I grew up racing, and actually I was racing local pro, and I wanted to go like televised pro, but never, and I ended up deciding like, it's like, I actually met someone that had made it, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm broke. I was like, what? That sucks. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. So, but through that, oh man, I can't tell you how many times. I hope I'm probably going to pay for it in my 50s and 60s, but
Knees. Yeah.
I ate it. I ate it tons of times. Actually, I was in a coma. I didn't even put that in my story because I didn't want to go on too long. But
Yeah.
when I was 16, I crashed, hit my head. I was in a coma, got helicoptered out. I was in a coma for 5 days. Had to learn how to walk again. It took me 2 months. I basically lived in the hospital for 2 months, and
Wow.
with physical therapy and all that. And I thought then I was never going to be a normal person ever again, let alone amount to get a two Comic Club award or anything. Or
Yeah.
I was just lucky if I could just be a normal person. So, but the point is, it actually, it's funny. As soon as I woke up, the first thing I said was like, first of all, how's my bike and did I win? And how soon can I get and how soon can I get back on the bike?
Yeah.
And so that tenacious attitude. I mean, I was so passionate about motocross. It was like an unlogical emotional passion that I had for sure. And I think that transferred to what I have now. I just got beat down a bunch of times, got back up. I always said seat time, seat time, seat time, seat time, seat time, seat time. And uh, I think that's the culture in motocross is like, just grind it out in the
Yeah.
gym, you're running, you're riding, you're running, you're riding, you're training, you're running, you're riding, you're training, like it's nonstop, like David Goggins style. And just,
Yeah.
I think that was my personality. And now in the business, it's just kind of how I do this now.
Yeah. It's kind of like we can get the same sort of uh creative expression ups and downs, except do it where we're not putting our physical lives at risk. That's how
Yeah.
I was actually just did an episode on that. I haven't published it yet, but I was really thinking about it. I was like, as soon as I'm 50-ish, and so I'm like, yeah, I gotta stop skiing. And I'll tell you why, is because when I ski, man, I have my ability to not push the envelope and look for the line and be like, all right, I'm gonna hop over this rock and then air over this cliff. Like I can't dial that down, and I can't be like, you know what I mean? It's
Oh
so
yeah.
innate in me, and I'm like, and so or surfing, like I was just so like, surfing's the same kind of thing. I was just like, what's the need for for leveling up all the time? Like traveling to foreign countries and getting cuts. I literally was on a happened to me twice in Fiji on a little remote island, not nearly as extreme as getting airlifted, but yeah, I've gotten stitches on on a on a remote. We're talking tiny island that you can walk around and
What?
yeah, man. I happened to me twice. Once on the face. It was Tavarua is what it's called. Um, but I'm surfing in Tavarua on this restaurants. There's two main breaks in Tavarua. One's called Cloud Break. One's called Restaurants. You can Google it and you'll see what's going on there. But this one time, I just dropped in on a wave. I freaking whatever. I took a fin to the face, and it was like it was ugly, right? Like the boat driver when I came paddling up to the boat couldn't even look at me. He was like, oh no,
Oh,
right?
yikes.
Yeah, it was heavy, and it. So we get to the island, and they're like, on these surf trips, they bring an EMT because it can get heavy, right? And stuff
Mm.
happens, twisted ankles or fins to the face. But this was so extreme. They're like, oh shit, the EMT that we have, this is way above his pay grade. What are we gonna do here, right? And and someone's like, hey, isn't Bill like doesn't Bill do it was what did Bill do? Isn't Bill like a retired vascular surgeon or something? They're like, yeah, he just got off the boat. Go find him. So they find Bill, right? This random dude, and Bill looks at me and he's like, oh yeah, we can shore that up. Where's the medical room? And I'm like, is this really happening?
Oh
Right?
my gosh,
Yeah,
dude.
it was crazy. So I end up in like it was probably a 10. I mean, it was a tiny room, dude. It was a tiny room. He lays me down, cleans me up, right? And he's like, okay, now we got to sew you up, right? And he's like looking through the cabinets and he's like, oh, this Novocaine or the local anesthetic. He's like, oh, this is from the 70s. I don't know if this is going to work.
Might be expired.
And
Oh
it's
my
all
gosh.
donation. And then he grabs like the stitch stuff and he's like, well, I guess this size will have to do. It's just comment after comment like that. And I'm
Every
just
time
going
you're
like,
like, oh.
oh God, right? Well, so this is I'll cut to the chase. He sews me up and he goes, look, he goes, this is what he goes, everybody on this island is going to tell you to go back home and get plastic surgery right away. And he goes, look, he goes, I was a vascular surgeon. He goes, I've done like 5 or 10,000 stitch jobs. And he goes, this is what a plastic surgeon would do. This is what I did. You have nothing to worry about. Just don't mess with, and you can't even see it. The sun has to be just right to see the scar.
Huh.
Um, but he goes, just leave the dressing on for, I can't remember, a week or 10 days. He said, don't touch it and you'll be fine. And I was actually kind of bummed because, I wanted a little bit of that scar. I wanted to be kind of like, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening. I
Dude, no, I love it. I'm all about that. Like I said, I'm a I'm an adrenaline junkie at heart. So I appreciate the wounds and the bruises and the crazy stories. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of those too. So I appreciate the good crazy story.
yeah, yeah. And so in the episode, my thought was as I've gotten a little bit older into my early 50s, I'm like, it's interesting that my passion has really for business and all that through funnel hacking and the funnel hacking live and all this stuff, right? It's just been super ignited. And I'm like, gosh, I don't feel the need to go risk my life on the ski slope or in the water or all this stuff. I'm like, that's an interesting, thing, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I same here as well. Uh I haven't gotten injured in a long time now. I haven't been riding lately, so and it's pretty crazy how I have no injuries.
yeah,
It's funny how that works.
it's funny how that works, right? So, well, I think we've got the framework for another episode where we'll whiteboard the blue
Blue Ocean
ocean
strategy.
the blue ocean
Yeah.
strategy, and I I think I mean there was so much to cover. I really love where this episode has gone. Did and I want to be cognizant of time. I know you're busy, you're super busy, and all that. anything, did we miss anything? Or were you like, man, I really hope we talk about this, or I really hope, okay, go ahead.
I don't think so. I might just recap and just say like takeaway for people could be that uh depending on, okay, so we have entrepreneurs listening here, and I know everyone's probably at different levels in their journey,
Well, let's say
but
this. Let's point to the. I love that question that you asked me. Let's say it's somebody who's at that. They're past the burn the boat moment maybe a little bit, but they're like they're they're in the thick of it, and they're like, I either got to, maybe they're at the burn the boat moment. Maybe that's a good. Let's. I'll go ahead. Finish. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
no. That's actually good that you're pinpointing a little bit. So let's say they're either just now burning the boats or thinking about it, or they have already done it. I would say I've heard, I don't know how many people say that a life lived not chasing your passion is just, it's not worth it. So dive in, chase your passion, turn the milk into butter. And I got to, it's funny. The longer Russell does it, the more I think the more he defaults to figure it out. Tony Robbins even says that. He says, what happens when you fail? You try again, and then you try again, and then you try again, and then you try again. It's
Yeah.
like, so both of them, all these like high level people are collectively saying, just try again. It's pretty much their big advice. That's a big takeaway.
Yeah.
But hey, the thing is that look at where they are at. And I'm not that far along, but I'm kind of far. I've made some progress, and I would attribute that to diving in, jumping in, turning the milk into butter, figuring it out, swing the bat. I always say, you just got to keep swinging the bat. Eventually, you swing the bat the first time with the ball, you miss. Eventually, you keep getting better and better and better before you know you're hitting a home run over the fence.
Yeah.
So I would say,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just finished that out by saying, yeah, just go for it. And there's a lot of specific tactics that we can go over in another meeting, another call, another podcast, where we talk about a blue ocean strategy, where along the journey you speak to people, ad copy, sales copy, funnels, automation, follow up, LTV, AOV, all those cool things. So
yeah, man.
For now, foundation can just be mindset, which is just do it.
Swing the bat, baby.
Swing the bat. Keep swinging.
Brandon, it's been a pleasure, man. I knew it was going to be fun, and it was, and yeah, it's good, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to hit stop, and then we'll say goodbye offline. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.